What's up, guys, and welcome back to Two Guys, One Court. My name is Zach Goldstein.
And I'm Braylon and Zach.
And today we have a very special episode for you today. Lots to talk about with March Madness, some big faces in the women's bracket and the men's bracket, some updates in the NBA.
Yeah, some pretty important and surprising games
recently. Kind of big games yesterday. Well, today's Thursday. We had a big round of games yesterday on Wednesday. Ramping up for that Sweet 16 starting today, Thursday, and tomorrow, Friday, and then ramping up into the Elite Eight for the men's bracket over the weekend.
Final Four, and then the championship.
All that championship. But we'll get into all that later. But firstly, we're going to give a little shout out to Two Guys, One Court at all social media. Make sure to follow us. And an even bigger, more important,
our merch store, which is
we're in it right now.
Probably this weekend.
Yeah. Well, if you want to access it, it's the link in our bio and Instagram. On Instagram at Two Guys, One Court. Access it from the link. The problem is you can only use PayPal to pay for it.
We're going to be setting up credit cards and Venmo, Apple Pay, all that.
We're going to get that all sorted out. But right now, if you're interested in an amazing t-shirt like this, you could just check the website. Those are all the pictures. But then you can just
printing as well.
Yeah, you can just DM us and then we'll ship one to us, and then we'll ship one out to you, and we can get all that stuff squared. It's a little bit more tedious, but it still works, and you can still get the great merch that we
quality.
Have. And another shout out to our sponsor, Product.co, for all your social media marketing needs. Make sure to follow them on Instagram at Product.co and visit their website. Without further ado, we'll get into the episode. And firstly, I think we're going to talk about the very controversial game yesterday. I personally didn't watch the game.
Yeah,
I had some studying to do, but I think my co-host here, Braylon, has a little bit more knowledge. But basically, it was the Clippers.
It was
and
the
Sixers
Clippers
game.
versus the Sixers.
Yeah.
It was a really tight game.
Nail biter to the end.
The Clippers won by 1 point.
Yes, in a very controversial win
over a single foul.
Mm-hmm. And this is, we're at the point where we're like 72 games in, we have 10 left. This is a very, very crucial part of the season for teams that are not a 1 through 3 seed
and that are not a playoff bound team. Maybe for
basically
play-in teams, I think it's really important for them to play their hardest now.
Yeah, if you're not in first place or last place, then this is going to be important. You have to try. This is the most important part of the season. And we have some teams taking advantage of that, and we'll talk about that.
Performing
but
amazingly.
Firstly, we have a very controversial win. Clippers beat the Sixers. It was actually a controversial call against the Sixers towards the end of the game. We had Kelly Oubre Jr. and the 76ers coach kind of argue with the refs. Yeah. It was very controversial. But, I mean, in the end, the Clippers won, and that's a big win for the Clippers.
That is a really big win. I don't think the Clippers are the best regular season team at all, but I think they can be a really strong playoff contender this year.
Yeah,
they
definitely.
Can definitely make a deep run. I honestly have them in the conference finals against the Nuggets.
Yeah.
I have no clue who's going to go to the finals for them, but I personally think that in a hard Game 7 series, I think that the Clippers could pull off a win against the Nuggets and go to the finals.
Yeah, definitely.
Really hot take, but I think it could go either way. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I don't prefer any other team to be in the conference finals.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say the Clippers are gonna go to the finals this year.
Mm-hmm. And another big thing that happened this game was James Harden's return to the
Philadelphia
76ers. You know,
yeah.
Of course, he got booed.
It's just like
fashion.
A less mild LeBron
sense.
In 2010 to Cleveland.
Yeah, he got booed. That's expected, not the greatest person, but we love him. If you want to come on the podcast, we'll welcome you.
The beard.
All that stuff, the beard.
We won't shave your beard off
no, we won't.
In the middle of the night.
But, yes, he's now in the 76ers, and he returned back to Philadelphia to play against the Phillies, and came away with a win, which is nice. Another, probably the biggest thing that happened yesterday, not a huge kind of game, but a very impressive kind of stat realized. We had a game with the Lakers against the Grizzlies.
And if it's Lakers, then it's going to be related to LeBron James.
Yes, and there's going to be at least 3 posts on Instagram and NBA, Instagram, all that SportsCenter stuff. But the main headline was LeBron James, who's 39 years old.
39 years young, basically.
Years young. He played against Gigi Jackson.
Who is 20 years younger than him.
A great player. He's 19 years old. Gigi Jackson's on the Memphis Grizzlies, but he is 19 years old. He's a great young player.
20 years isn't even the span of, like, most NBA players.
But this
I'd
shows
say only stars and
the longevity
with insane longevity
LeBron
can
James,
last for 20 whole years.
Nobody can last that long. Let's be honest. His longevity is crazy.
Yeah, everybody who played 20 years, their 20th season was like 3 points per game. LeBron's averaging like 24.
24, 25. He's putting up a good amount of rebounds, good amount of assists. He's playing very efficient. He's having a great season. And honestly, the most surprising part about this is honestly, I felt like I was reading another Tom Brady.
Dude, watch LeBron like retire when he's 42 and come back when he's 45.
Yeah, he might pull him.
Mark my words on that.
Who knows?
I'll bet money that LeBron's gonna come back. At 45.
these great players just love the game too much. There's no reason you can't pull them away from it. But the biggest thing that I was trying to get at was that LeBron had played a full year in the league before Gigi Jackson was even born. That's a crazy stat. LeBron James' NBA debut was October 29th, 2003, and the date of birth of Gigi Jackson was December 17th, 2004.
Isn't it crazy how
more than a year?
Isn't it crazy how people who were watching LeBron in the 2016 finals are in the league right now?
Yeah, they were cheering for him. Now they're playing against him.
That is an insane stat right
Yeah,
now.
they were watching him dunk on people when they were coming
watching
home
that
from
watching
third
that
grade.
iconic block in middle school and then getting blocked when you're in the league by the same guy.
That's just unheard of. I'm sure we'll see a lot more of that in the future with the next generation, whatever. But come on, that's just completely
not
unheard
a
of.
real person, right?
LeBron's
an alien.
He's literally an alien. But besides that, the Lakers have been on a fairly hot streak, winning their last. I think that was their sixth game.
Yeah.
A great winning streak. Also, a couple nights ago when they played against the Milwaukee Bucks, the Lakers had a wonderful performance. LeBron James was sitting; he was taking a break that game. But let me tell you, D'Angelo Russell, AD, AR-15, they showed out. They were down 75 to 94. The Bucks were winning with 7:56 left in the fourth quarter. And then by the end of the game, by the way, this game went into double overtime. The final score was 128-124 Lakers. That's just, I don't know.
That's really good.
This team is hot at the best moment of the season.
Yeah, but they're also horrible at some moments. Like they'll get blown out by 30 whole points. But
by the Hornets. Who cares? But they're in the 10th seed. They're in the 10th spot. They're doing well.
We have Anthony Davis is the Lakers' second leading scorer, and he's also in the top 5 of points scored by a second leading scorer. And D'Angelo Russell is the third leading scorer for the Lakers. He's also top 5 for third leading scorers in the league. Meaning the Lakers have a really good offense right now. They have really talented players who can score the ball, but their defense is lacking a pretty good amount. I'd say their only defensive talent right now is like Anthony Davis, who can really lock down the paint.
And it's really unexpected that this team, they made the Western Conference Finals. Obviously, it didn't go far, but they made the Western Conference Finals last year, and now they're stuck in the 10th seed. They're stuck in the play-in games.
I mean, the Lakers, we all know, the Lakers in this era are not a regular season team.
No, they're not. They're a playoff team.
They're a playoff team.
They are a playoff. So are the Heat.
Yeah, the Heat and the Lakers are basically the same team on opposite sides of the country.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And then we have another great team, very unexpected too. We have the Rockets.
The Houston Rockets.
Now on a 10-game winning streak.
Jalen Green must have pumped up his teammates.
We have phenomenal 40-plus point performances from Jalen Green. We have, honestly, pretty good defense by Jabari Smith Jr., and we have some other players on that. Sengun, what's his name?
Sengun's so good. He's
a great center on the Rockets. He's gonna be
a star one day.
He will. But yeah, we have some great teams doing great stuff in the time where it actually matters in the season. They're moving. Yeah, they're moving up in the standings, and that's all you want as a team right now.
They want to make the play. They want to make the play-in tournament. And
they do.
Nobody's gonna go against them. They're on a 10-game winning streak. I think that I think that they could beat out the Warriors.
They had a very rough start to the season.
Yeah.
And the middle of the season. But they're right now they are one game behind the Warriors for that 10 seed. Excuse me, the Lakers are now in the 9 seed. That'll be very weird to see a playoffs.
I mean, if
Draymond
Draymond Green keeps up with his antics, I think that the Rockets can easily replace the Warriors.
Literally last night, a weird thing happened.
Maybe if Draymond Green doesn't start fighting for the MMA, he can actually help his team make the play-in tournament.
This man got rejected from the game. Not surprising, but he got rejected. Ejected. He got ejected from the game in the first 4 minutes, in the first quarter.
With 2 texts. How do you get 2 texts?
He's PRing every single game. He got 2 texts, 4 minutes, and then, honestly, this is not surprising, but the weirder part, the more surprising part about this is that after, Steph Curry seemed to be, wiping his face, wiping his eyes, it seemed like he was crying. I don't know. That's what the reports are saying. If I were you, I wouldn't trust them, but I'm just saying what they're saying. It seems like he was crying a little bit. I don't know.
You can't blame the man.
You can't blame the man.
He's carrying that team on his back right now, and his team is the 10 seed.
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out with a back injury.
He won a championship 2 years ago, and now he's the 10 seed.
Yeah. And none of it's his fault.
Yeah.
0 of it is his fault. Klay Thompson is underperforming.
Klay Thompson's Draymond Green's getting ejected left and right. Draymond Green's changing sports.
Yeah, he's basically changing sports to be a MMA fighter.
Who knew Draymond Green was a black belt?
Who knew?
I did not know he took.
I didn't really know until this year.
Elementary school.
I didn't really know until this year. But of course, as you've clearly seen, we have some teams doing absolutely terrible, and then we have some
Pistons, Wizards.
God. The Wizards actually are on the 4-game winning streak, but they're still 20, 30 games behind first place.
Yeah,
by the way, the Celtics in the first place for the East, and they have clinched the playoffs, first team to do it. How many wins? They're at 50.
Clinched the number 1 seed, too.
Yeah, they're at 57 wins.
Pretty impressive.
What are the Nuggets at right now?
The Nuggets are at 51 wins.
All right. And they're in first place, but that's
really solid.
That division is very tight. There's
but the Nuggets lost to the Suns last night.
They did, yeah, the 7-seed Suns. I mean, we can clearly see the West is a lot more competitive.
Yeah,
a lot more competitive.
I definitely say the West has more competitive teams. But the East, does the East have better players?
I don't know. I don't think the East has better players.
When we compare them head to head, East has Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, Giannis. Would you say Jimmy?
Yeah, I'd say
Jimmy.
Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown.
If we're saying Jimmy, we might as well say Jaylen Brown as well.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson
playing amazing.
Yeah, Jalen Brunson's tearing up the league.
Yeah, but we know there's
Embiid.
There's such a small margin between games in the Western. In the West, we all know that it's going to be a lot more competitive, and that's clear. But another big thing that happened, we have the return of the 5'8" legendary point guard Isaiah Thomas. 5'9".
Same height as you.
5'9" point guard. 5'9" point guard. I appreciate that, but you're 5'8", so
doesn't matter.
I'm Isaiah. I'm in the NBA, and I just made a comeback. I'm on the 76ers. I got signed, or not the 76ers. The Suns. I got signed to a 10-day contract.
And I scored 0 points.
But I got an assist.
Yeah,
I got one assist.
1 assist in 2 minutes. Not a horrible stat.
But who cares? Props to Isaiah Thomas for doing this.
I mean,
he's been on this fight for a while.
After the Celtics ruined his career.
They did. Kyrie did nothing to that team.
Yeah. I mean, he's had a really rough ride in the basketball world. And not a free agency, teams overseas, but
he tried
signed
overseas.
a 10-day contract with the Suns. I'm extremely happy with him. He might not have had an insane impact on the team, but I'm just really happy he got to suit up in an
insane
NBA
impact
jersey.
On my heart. Okay. Yeah, I was very happy to see him play. It might have been for 30 seconds. He might have scored 0 points and 0 rebounds, but he got that assist. And I know that. Yeah, he did. He got that dime, and I know that game meant more to him. And that's just what you want to see in the NBA. But besides for all that NBA news, of course we've mentioned that we're kind of ending the NBA season.
Yeah,
getting into our playoff mode.
The end of this NBA season. I think we've already
10 games left.
Established what the awards are going to be. Most improved player, MVP,
all that. But we're going to get into our predictions here. So I think if you really think about this award, it becomes clear. I think we're gonna put the give the most improved player of the year award to Tyrese Maxey.
Tyrese Maxey's a really good pick. I think another one that could be arguable is Jalen Brunson.
Definitely, yeah, but
yeah, he's been
tearing it up all year.
Yeah, but Tyrese Maxey's had such a high point increased in everything. James Harden completely holding him back, but now he's fully.
Now he's set free.
He can take the reins of his team behind him.
He is set free. Him and himself, honestly. No Joel Embiid.
He's
hurt.
In his own world.
Yeah, Joel Embiid would have won MVP if he wasn't hurt. But we have another person for that, but we'll get to that a little bit later.
Such a shame that Joel Embiid wasted this historical season.
Such a shame,
because he got injured. Probably one of the best MVP seasons there are.
Definitely,
35 points, 11 rebounds,
and now
5 assists.
Now that Sixers team is stuck in the 8th seed. You know, they would have been
top
top 4.
They were
what a fall
seed.
off. They were the third.
They were the third seed with Embiid, but I guess that shows how Embiid really carries that team.
Definitely, yeah.
I think Maxey needs some time to develop before he can actually lead the 76ers to a high seed next season.
Definitely, yeah. But he's going to be great in the future. He'll have a lot of All-Star appearances, and we'll see what he can do in the future. But this is a surprise to me, actually. When I did my research, we picked our player for the Sixth Man of the Year, but nobody talked about this.
He was in the 3-point contest.
The Kings had no news throughout the season. They got snubbed. These two players, De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis, got snubbed for the All-Star game.
The Kings aren't talked about enough.
The Kings aren't talked about enough.
I can't blame the people. They made the playoffs for the first time last season.
Yeah.
In what, 30?
Long
20
time.
years.
They're on the 8th seed, but come on. They're not having a
they had a
terrible
really good
season
last year, though.
Yeah. And
really underrated team.
For the Sixth Man of the Year, we are suggesting that the NBA Commission chooses Malik Monk. He's having a wonderful season.
Amazing 3-point shooter.
Nobody chose him 3 years ago. No NBA team chose this man 3 years ago when he went into retirement, kind of free agency. But luckily,
he's a really underrated guy.
Yeah, luckily,
I appreciate how
the Kings
picked
him up.
3-point shooter he is. He's been making a pretty decent impact on the Kings.
Oh, yeah.
In their winning games.
Yeah, fairly decent. In the teens for points, averaging about 16 points was great. And 5 and 5, which is wonderful that you can see. And he's a very efficient player.
Yeah, he's a really
efficient player. Has the mid range game of Sean Livingston.
And he has the 3-point game of Finals Ray Allen.
I was gonna say Kyle Korver, but
Kyle Korver.
No, I said that wrong. But yeah, that's our Sixth Man of the Year. And to move on, we're gonna get into the Rookie of the Year. And at the beginning of the season, in the summer,
we may have had some Wembanyama slander.
Yeah, this is gonna be rough to get through, but he's clearly shown that he's an alien
rookie.
He's a different beast. He's not a real person. He's not a human.
Lots of NBA players right now.
Yes, but if you haven't inferred who this player is, he's
the alien.
We have Victor Wembanyama for our Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Without doubt,
definitely.
Which makes sense. Chet Holmgren had a great season. The Thunder are a great, very young team. They're honestly doing great this season. I love their young core. They're third in the West, doing well, but not as crazy as
Chet is not
Wemby.
doing nearly as good as Wemby. He may be more efficient, but Wemby's a better defender, better scorer, better rebounder.
Yeah, easily.
He can basically do anything that a guard can do.
Basically.
At the size of basically the size of Yao Ming.
Basically, yeah. And then moving into our Defensive Player of the Year, who is on a great team.
He has this on lock. He has led his team to the best defense in the league. Defensively wise, obviously.
Yes.
He's not the best scorer in the league.
Yeah.
But it's Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert from the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves are having a great season. They're
are
the
second seed right now
in the West. They're having a good season.
Yeah.
And
their number one defense is easily secured by Rudy Gobert. He is carrying their interior defense right now.
He can't shoot the basketball, but he can definitely block and rebound and steal and all that stuff.
He's a really valuable asset to a team.
Yeah.
Everybody likes to hate on Rudy Gobert, Mr. Kobe.
He's the modern day Dennis
really
Rodman.
good. He's really good.
And we've seen this from him. Like, he gets under-recognized because of his terrible offensive abilities. But he's been winning this award, pretty consistently for the past 5.
He said 3, right?
Yeah, I think 3 over more than 3 years. But still, it shows longevity, Not as much as LeBron, but he'll get there someday.
You want to know what is kind of crazy? How
What?
There is a really good argument for Wemby to win the Depoy right now, but
he's leading in blocks.
It's because he's a rookie.
Because he's a rookie. Yeah. I don't think they're gonna put him.
They're not gonna put a rookie.
They're just gonna give him one award.
He's leading the league in blocks plus steals as a rookie.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you expect from a guy that's 7'4"?
Yeah, come on.
But I did not expect for him to get that many steals, but blocks, it's not really a surprise.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert's playing amazing. And then basically, to move on to our most valuable player award, the undisputed Joker from the Mile High City, Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
Undisputed, playing great right now. Nuggets are the 1 seed in the West. We know they're not talked about enough, and we know that they're a great team, but we know that he's going to get his award.
Yeah.
What is it, the third or fourth?
His third. Yeah.
He'll get four. He'll get four.
Yeah.
In the future.
Honestly, I think Jokic can be top 10 player all time when he retires.
Really?
Yes,
top 10 player of all time.
Definitely.
I have like Curry / KD and
I have
10
Jokic.
spot.
I have Jokic over Curry all time.
Really?
Arguably.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh no! He retires,
what's your argument for that?
When he retires, he's honest. I think Jokic could be a 4-time MVP. He's probably one of the best offensive players in history.
I mean, he's only 29, so
he can drop a triple-double any single night. He's had consistently with like 20 something points, 11 or 12 rebounds, and 8 or 9 assists throughout the past couple seasons where he's won MVP. I mean, if he keeps this up, he's in his prime right now. I think he can easily win a second, maybe another MVP, or maybe even 2 more MVPs.
Fifth,
yeah,
who knows?
That's really
that's crazy.
And by the looks of it, the Nuggets are in a decent spot to win the title this year. And if they do, the Finals MVP is gonna go to Jokic.
Yeah, definitely. I think
Hakeem Olajuwon's on a lot of people's all-time top 10 list. While Jokic is not that good of a defender, pretty mid defender, but his offensive talent's, I think, much higher than Hakeem Olajuwon.
And he is an eyesore to watch on the NBA court. But God, is he amazing.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
The stats don't lie.
Yeah,
the stats do not lie.
Sometimes they lie. Sometimes
they do. I also want to throw in another name, another another white European guy. I'm throwing in the great point guard from the Mavericks. If you're not Luka Doncic, I think that
he's criminally underrated.
Criminally underrated. You may think he's great.
He's basically averaging a triple-double
as
legendary.
a
6'7" point guard.
We hold him to this very high standard just because he was 18 years old and the best player in Europe. We hold him to this high standard. But I think we need to understand that his stats don't lie. Sure, his team is not doing great.
His team's pretty
they're in the 6th seed. Honestly, Kyrie's having a great season.
Kyrie is doing really well this season.
But not Jokic. Luka Doncic is having a great season.
Luka's having a career season right now.
Yes,
definitely.
I mean,
Luka's entering
his prime.
He's what, 25 right now? 25 or 26?
Yeah, he's 25. I just looked it up, but he's nobody's talking about him enough.
No, nobody's talking about it because his team is the 6th seed.
He's so overlooked.
I mean, I personally think that the MVP shouldn't go to someone whose team is below the 3 seed, unless if they're having a historical season like Russell Westbrook in 2016, averaging a triple-double, even though his team was
But with this stat inflation, we're going to see these legendary seasons become normalized.
Legendary seasons are not going to be legendary anymore.
Exactly,
I still think Russell Westbrook's record would be more impressive than Jokic's record, just because they played in a different time frame when triple-doubles were basically next to impossible, especially to average over an entire season.
Yeah, definitely. But hopefully that encapsulates our view on what's going to be heading into the season, what teams are going to most likely stand out in the next week, up and coming before the next episode, before we update you. But now we're going to kind of transition. We talked about
March Madness.
Yeah, we're going to transition to March Madness because we talked about what's going to happen for the future in the NBA with all the players, all the awards coming up to the end of the regular season. But now we're going to get into March Madness. We are approaching
the Sweet 16.
Sweet 16.
First game is in
a couple hours.
2 hours. Pretty excited.
Actually, 1 hour. Less than an hour. It's 5:33 right now. It's going to start at 6:09. Weird time, but
very strange time.
We're going to go over this bracket here. We're going to tell you Obviously what teams were in it, their rank, all that stuff.
7:09.
7:09. 7:09. Okay, so in 2 hours. But anyway, we'll tell you all the teams that are in it. If you don't know, give you a refresh, and we'll kind of go from the Sweet 16 to the Elite Eight to the Final Four, and then to the championship, and we'll hopefully get a winner. We will get you our view on what we think the future holds for the tournament. But nevertheless, we'll start with number 1 seed UConn playing number 5 seed.
Hometown.
Yes. We're from Connecticut, if you don't know. And I know I'm rooting for UConn in that game.
Yeah, me too.
They're playing number 5 San Diego State.
I'm rooting UConn all the way to the championship.
And actually, speaking of championship, they did play San Diego State in last season's championship.
Yeah, it's going to be
a little bit of a
might
rematch.
Be a revenge tour from San Diego, maybe.
But
some of their players can maybe put up a show, but they're not going to beat anybody on UConn.
I think clearly we're putting UConn next.
Yeah,
that's easy.
UConn's going back to back.
That's easy. They got some great players in the transfer portal. But then we have a more
really tight game.
A tight game between number 3
Illinois and number 2 Iowa State.
2 Iowa State. But I do think that Iowa State has been snubbed from the 1 seed, and I do think
I think Iowa State can definitely beat Illinois right
They'll
now.
definitely beat Illinois.
Definitely.
It's going to be close, nevertheless.
Pretty underrated, but they're not going to face a competition with
Iowa
UConn
State,
in the Elite Eight.
Iowa State was snubbed from that, from a 1 seed, and I think they should have, whatever. Nobody's going to be UConn, but we'll put Iowa State in that Elite Eight spot against UConn. And then next we have the most recognizable colleges, I think.
Yeah.
We have UNC, number 1 seeded.
And number 4, Alabama.
Yeah. UNC did not win their conference tournament. NC State won. NC State's in the Elite Eight. And the Sweet 16, sorry. But I am a little bit afraid. I'm going to put North Carolina.
Yeah.
Because they are a 1 seed.
They're
Alabama's
really
a great team. But I am a little scared.
I don't think Alabama can pull off the victory.
Alabama's having a wonderful season.
I personally know a couple people who have North Carolina winning the entire championship.
And that's probably yourself.
No.
Who?
I have UConn winning the championship.
Okay, I'm just making sure. And then our final game on the left hand of the bracket is Clemson, number 6 Clemson versus number 2 Arizona. I don't know how Clemson beat Baylor. Nobody had that on their brackets. I didn't have it on mine. We're going to have Arizona winning.
Yeah, we do. But if Clemson can pull off an upset, that'll be insane.
Yeah, and then they'll have a great run and all that.
I mean, I'd be really happy if they pulled an upset just because of how crazy that would be. But
definitely, yeah.
I don't think that could be viable, especially in the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
Let alone.
And then our first game on that right-hand side, we have the number 1 Houston seed playing number 4 Duke. And if you, I think we're gonna go back to the second round of 32. I just want to comment on Jared McCain, the star point guard at Duke.
He's amazing.
TikTok star,
absolutely
basketball star.
Basically, he's a glorified AAU player.
He is, and I love him so much.
He has the personality of a high schooler. I mean,
fresh out of high school.
High school.
Yeah. He has a great personality. Love his TikTok. Love his vibe. Love his energy.
His dances.
Love his little dances. I think it's great. Love the nail painting. Support it. A lot of people hate it, but come on, who really cares that much? He's just expressing himself.
Yeah.
But Jared McCain.
That falls under the First Amendment. Freedom of expression.
Looks like somebody's taking a gov class right now. Yeah. But Jared McCain did score 8 threes in his game against JMU on the round of 32 with 30 points in total, beating the 12 seed JMU 93-55. He got fired up in that game. He had a wonderful game. Honestly, nobody expected it to be that big of a performance, but it was a wonderful. It was a wonderful performance, and it was great to watch. It was the first time I actually watched him. I think he's going to have a great future in the NBA.
Do you think Duke can pull off an upset against Houston?
That's what I'm going to, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think they can.
I think Duke is going to beat Houston.
Yeah, me too.
I think
that'll be a pretty big upset.
Yes.
But
I do think that, yeah.
I think a lot of people actually see that coming.
Yeah. Houston is a great team.
Jared McCain has potential to pull off something crazy against Houston.
And they have great players. But then going to the next couple games here. We have 11 seed NC State playing number 2 Marquette.
I think it's kind of obvious he's going to win.
I think, God, I really want to put NC State though.
Yeah, but really.
But we're gonna go.
Do you
Marquette.
really think that's gonna happen?
We're gonna go Marquette.
Yeah.
There's some times where you really want to make an upset happen, but it's just not gonna happen. It's always the ones that you don't think happen are gonna happen. So we're just gonna play it safe here, and we're gonna put Marquette down. We're gonna put Marquette.
If NC State manages out to beat Marquette,
they're on fire right now.
Extremely shocked.
They beat UNC in their conference tournament. Good for them, all that. But we'll see what happens. And then we have number 1 seed Purdue
versus number 5 Gonzaga.
I think Zach Edey is too much of a cheat code in college basketball.
He basically is. You put him in the paint and he'll dunk it. That he's just an unathletic Giannis.
Basically, yeah. I don't know how great he'll be in the NBA. I'm gonna call it. I don't know. I don't think he'll be amazing. But in college,
he'll be something.
He'll be something. But in college, he's definitely more. Yeah, he's definitely. And they can definitely beat Gonzaga. Yeah. And then we have another tight game here with number 3 seed Creighton.
Number 2 Tennessee.
But I think I'm gonna give Creighton is a great team, but they kind of lost. They lost.
Tennessee's gonna win this one.
Yeah, they lost some good players to. They lost one good player to UConn in the transitional period, but I think Tennessee in the transfer period, but Tennessee is going to win. So that's your Sweet 16, and then if we're going to move on to the Elite 8, we have
UConn versus
Iowa State.
Iowa State, yeah.
The 1, the 2 seed.
I still have UConn winning.
If you really think that UConn isn't going to win, then you're just in the wrong.
Yeah, UConn's
going to win.
All right, so every other team's like, maybe around this. UConn's all the way over here.
UConn's up there.
UConn's all the way up here. I don't think a single team.
And there was only 15% bias to that statement.
Yeah, 15's not a lot.
85% of that is just real. Like a person from
85%
Montana would say that.
Real hard cold facts.
Yes,
now.
It's completely true. And then we have
number 1. Now we have number 1 North Carolina playing
the number 2 Arizona. I want North Carolina to go. But
I think there could be a really tight game between North Carolina and Arizona right now.
If I'm on North Carolina, if I'm a North Carolina fan, I'm very scared of Arizona.
Yeah,
and I think Arizona has
extremely
a great
powerful
season.
Right now.
I might give the edge to Arizona.
I think anything
UNC does not deserve the 1 seed. They never did. They never did. They lost their conference championship to NC State. They do not deserve the 1 seed.
I think Arizona could win, but Arizona deserves to be. North Carolina could win as well.
I'm putting Arizona. I don't care. I'm putting Arizona there. I'm putting Arizona. I'm putting Arizona. And then our next game is number 4 Duke against number 2 Marquette. Honestly, I don't have a lot of thoughts here, but I'm just gonna go with let's keep on that Jared McCain.
Yeah, I think anything could happen at this point.
Truly, but let's go with our heart. Let's go with Duke.
I'm going Duke.
There's a lot of Duke haters, including my father. But come on now. Yeah, that's a very gritty team. If you get a lot of hate, then it means you're doing something right or really wrong.
Yeah, but if you're good, then you're doing something right. If you're bad, then you're doing something wrong.
That was a very wonderful, intelligent way to put it. But then we have our last one. We have Purdue and Tennessee.
I have Purdue.
Purdue, yeah,
definitely.
Just push Zach Edey
until in the paint, and he'll score the ball at will.
Yes, he'll do anything. Then we have
in the
what was that?
Final Four.
The Final Four.
UConn
versus
Arizona. Yeah. It could be North Carolina.
I want to put Arizona there.
All right, fine. We'll put Arizona there, just because you're more experienced with college ball.
But we all know it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because UConn's going to win. Because UConn's going to win it all.
UConn is going to win it all. They're going to be in that.
First time Connecticut's been relevant since what, like?
Last year. They won last year.
Well, besides, you know what I mean.
Sure. Yeah, Connecticut's not a very relevant place. We know that because we're from there. But we're putting them in the championship, and they will be against either Duke or Purdue. God.
I don't think Jared McCain can beat out Purdue's team.
Will the run stop? It might stop.
Yeah, I think it's going to stop. I think it's going to stop.
It might have to stop at Purdue. So then we have a championship. This is looking exactly like my bracket with my family, with UConn playing Purdue in the championship. And if you really think we're choosing Purdue, then please stop listening to this podcast.
Not. Absolutely.
I'm just
joking. Don't stop listening.
Keep listening.
Don't stop listening.
But regardless, UConn's going to win.
Yeah, UConn. Back to back.
Back to back, baby. And who knows, maybe the women will win too, but there's a lot more competition. There's I
think the UConn women's
better
team
players
can pull off something great.
I don't know, but there's a lot of competition. I'm hoping for Caitlin Clark, a little special from her.
Caitlin Clark's insane.
But that gives us, and we'll talk about the women a little bit later. But that gives you a kind of a look into the games, what will happen, and most likely what will be the outcome of those games. If you didn't know, that was starting from the Sweet 16 to the championship. But besides the men, we have a lot more star power, I'd say, and it's very deservingly. Very deservingly. Too. The women are important too. Yes. Yeah. The women's bracket is filled with stars. There's
some amazing players who probably could compete with the guys very well.
Definitely.
Just Caitlin Clark.
The most well-known Caitlin Clark
Watkins.
From USC. Caitlin Clark from University of Iowa. Pretty sure. We have Paige Beckers from UConn. We have some great players everywhere. There's they've gotten Angel Reese from really LSU, good. Haley Van something, another great player from LSU. But we have a lot more star power on the women's side, and there's a lot more.
Do you think
NIL
some
deals, all
women's
that
players, such as Caitlin Clark, could be better than some NBA players even?
I think anyone's better than Thanasis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, but
I think anyone on this list is better.
Yeah, but Thanasis isn't even a player. He's a cheerleader.
He is a cheerleader. I think that Caitlin Clark can compete with NBA players. She's a very, very competitive person.
She's really good. She's an insane player. Probably arguably the best player in college history at this point.
Yeah, she's the leading scorer in NCAA history, beating Pete Maravich.
Yeah, guys and girls. She's insane. Definitely better than lots of guys players right now in the NCAA.
We have a lot of record-breaking point, things happening.
Let's say one-on-one Caitlin Clark versus someone like D'Angelo Russell. Who do you think would win?
I'm gonna say D'Lo. I think he's too much of a better experienced player.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I'd say you match a rookie against a rookie and point guard against point guard. Caitlin Clark's winning any day.
I'd say Caitlin Clark could beat out Scoot Henderson.
Yes, I say the only exceptions for those young point guards in like college is probably like Jared McCain, Jude, what's his name, Rob Dillingham. I was gonna say a football player, but yeah, she's honestly an amazing player. There's a lot more star power, and it's about the time that they're represented this much, and that there's a lot of talent being shown. I mean,
the women
they're making a name for themselves.
Taken an insane rise over the past couple of years. Yeah. WNBA is getting bigger. Women's college basketball is getting bigger.
Yeah, but I'd say women's college basketball is bigger than really the WNBA.
Yeah, I'd definitely say so.
Yeah, but hopefully they have a great season. I'm hoping for Iowa to win. I'm hoping.
Yeah, that would finish Caitlin Clark's superhero story. Good ending.
I'd love to repeat 2014, where the women's and men's UConn team win. We could do it. We could do it like every 10 years thing.
Men's won it last year. Now men's and women's could possibly win this year. That would 3 championships in 2 years.
They did it in 2014. You can do it in 2024. You'll do it in 2034. But there's a lot more competition. We have great teams like LSU, South Carolina, and Iowa. But who knows what's going to happen? It's the magic of March. Who knows? For both sides, we can be completely right or completely wrong. Who knows? But I hope that gives you kind of an outlook to the future of the kind of second half of the
March Madness
for men's and women's, and
I
the
guess
NBA.
The second half of the NBA as well.
Yeah, the very end of the NBA and going into the playoffs. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please make sure to follow, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Follow us on all social medias at 2guys1court. And make sure to reach out about our brand. Please, if you're interested in buying one of these great shirts,
DM us on Instagram.
Yes, you can look for pictures on the website. There's all these great models. We have all the pictures.
Then you can pay us however you want on our Instagram.
Yeah, we can figure it out.
Pay.
Just DM us. We'll definitely respond. We check those a lot for all the DMs we get. And just please know that if you don't have PayPal, you don't need to pay with the website. You can just DM us and we'll figure something out through. We'll do something personalized to cater your needs. But these are great T-shirts. Please buy
really
one.
Really comfortable, really soft.
They're really comfortable. They're great graphics. Came out a lot better than I expected, but I had very high expectations. They're wonderful T-shirts.
We want the highest quality shirts for our fan base.
We're in the process of making hats, and please comment on if you want other articles of clothing. I think we're going to move into sweatshirts maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Crew necks, long sleeve, beanies, who knows. I don't care. But whatever you guys want, we'll make, we'll design, we'll do all that stuff, and we'll get it ready for you. And another thank you to our sponsor at Product.co. Make sure to follow them on Instagram and visit their website for all your social media marketing needs. And I hope you enjoy the episode.